Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Good morning, everybody. Again, this is Brent Longnecker, guest hosting for Kevin Price, who is away in San Francisco. He's out there with Baker Communications working on Dreamforce 2000. Going to be able to catch his specials tomorrow and Wednesday at 10 a.m. on Talk 650. Powered by CBS Radio. Again, I don't know that anybody can replace Kevin, but I'm trying to do my best, and the good thing is I got my daughter Brittany here making sure that we're looking at everything. It seems like what we saw after the last conversation with Bill Aimone, that there's a lot of people that are excited about and encouraged about the fact that he started his own business with a couple of friends and partners of his from Deloitte & Touche, and we want to continue to talk a little bit more about that. Bill, tell us a little bit about the partners and what makes a business successful for three people to want to spin off away from a great firm like a Deloitte and to go into business. What makes that work?
Well, I mean, first of all, you've got to, if you're going to start your own thing and spin off, you got to have people you trust. And the three of us have unequivocal trust of each other, and we're looking out for each other's back. The second thing is you've got to leave your ego at the door. I mean, there are in big organizations, and particularly big consulting firms, there's a lot of sharp elbows and a lot of people who are, out for the cheese, and you're competing. And what the three of us found, we found ways to partner and work together on things. So the key is the trust and leaving the ego at the door and having the humility to know when you're wrong. And admit it. So we that's the key for us, I think. The second thing is we all know we're all after the same thing. We're trying to serve our clients the best possible way, and everything is client focused. Every decision we make, is that going to help us with our clients? Is that going to help us serve them better? So we all have that client focus.
Well, and it seems interesting, again, Jim Collins in his book, Good to Great, talks about the fact that the most important thing a company can do is put the right people on the bus. And it would seem to me that that's probably the most important thing is who are going to be those three cornerstone partners as it relates to Trenegy, that's going to be absolutely key, that whoever those three are, that they do have that vision. And again, it sounds like, you guys were thinking about this dream for a while just to make sure that not only could you do what you wanted to do in the future, but also did you all want to work together with each other in the future?
Right. And we all recognize that the three of us have different strengths and weaknesses, and what they all do is they complement each other in different ways. One of my partners, Gordon Sorrells, is a tremendous resource for business contacts in the oil and gas community. Does extremely well in marketing and running our marketing piece.
Probably
of the
one of the
business.
best in the city.
Yeah, I'll tell you, hands down. And then Peter Purcell, our third partner, he is tremendous reputation in the market with information technology and helping companies identify their information technology strategy. He actually developed a lot of the approaches and methodologies with previous firms, and he is deep in the industry, understands oil and gas, and so the three of us working together. My background is in finance and accounting. And the three of us working together, actually, we know where we stand and who's got what strength and the like. And similarly, when we have clients we serve, we're working with our clients. You look at executive teams. You look at the most successful companies out there. You talk about good to great is when the executive teams have unequivocal trust for each other. And you see organizations, we've seen companies fail, frankly, that with the executives were sitting around their board meetings arguing and debating every little topic.
Absolutely.
And there was lack of trust. But when you see that trust, that's what happens in these successful organizations. So part of when we go out and serve our clients, we try to help them figure out a way to bridge that gap in their organization, and that's where we believe that whole change management piece comes into play.
Well, and of course, Bill's not saying it, but as the threesome goes, he's considered the real smart one. Bill, talk a little bit about the fact that, with a new company, I know for a fact that you're out there hiring. So we've talked about what your argument or what your compelling statement is for clients to want to hire you. You can't take care of clients unless you get great people. You've got three great partners. You've got a great vision. You've got a great business strategy. So what are you trying to make sure that people see in you that would want them to come to work for Trenegy?
Well, part of it is being part of something and from the ground floor up. being part of a business that's growing and that's looking for input from people and new ideas. So we're on campus. We're on the campus of A&M and the campus of Rice and interviewing people, and the people are coming to us and they're getting offers from competing big firms for more money. But the question comes back is, what am I going to be doing? What role am I playing? You're going to be, as a consultant, you're not only going to be involved in your client, but you're involved in other clients, and you get involved in seeing the full circle of what we do and get on the ground floor of a business that's growing. So what that also means is potentially becoming part of the organization long term and taking a leadership role much more quickly and much more fast. Now, that's not for everybody. There's a lot of people out there who are looking for a big structure around them. We are relatively unstructured. We go out and serve our clients, and we're doing quick, short projects for them. And one day you're doing one thing, the next day you're doing the next. This is not a dumping an army of people on a big, huge M&A project in New York City. This is a lot of very tactical stuff where we're coming in and very quickly, and they're learning a lot, and it's a fast learning curve, and you've got to be able to deal with that ambiguity.
You're right. And what seems to be the case is, again, you're trying to give them good quality of work life. You're trying to give them a ground floor opportunity. They're probably not going to be putting the 80 to 100 hours like you and I did when we were first coming up, but all that said, there's still going to be an awful lot of pressure because you're not going to have just a little job description. It's going to be one of those things that probably at Trenegy, like at Longnecker & Associates, you don't want anybody ever to say, that's not in my job description.
Right, that's correct. And I think the most important thing is you talk about our work week and everything. The good people, the ones that are good, they figure out an efficient way to work smart. And so maybe they're putting in a 50-hour work week starting out instead of a 100-hour work week with a big firm, putting a 40 to 50-hour work week because they're working smart and efficient, and they're getting the same amount of work done. Absolutely.
And again, it seems like, again, when I was coming up as a partner, that there was a lot of pressure on people staying long and maybe not just always working, but making sure they stayed longer to make sure that the bosses thought that they looked like they were staying longer. That's not going to be the case over at Trenegy.
No. And I spent 6 years working for companies where people sat around waiting for the boss to leave, and the corporate games you play, and you watch that. And I see it with some of our clients. I watch, and the boss's light goes out, everybody leaves behind them. A lot of our folks are asked to work pretty independently with the clients. Now, they're there, they need to be there when our clients are there. Not necessarily we're me, the boss of, or Peter or Gordon, one of the bosses at Trenegy are there, but they're serving our clients. So really what we're doing is our main focus of, and how we compensate our people and how we pay our people is going to be based on client satisfaction. I'm not going to worry about all the other administrative stuff. Let's focus on clients. If our clients are happy, guess what? You're going to be happy too, and that's how we're going to incent our people.
Okay, so we've talked today, and you've done a great job, Bill. I appreciate you being on with us. We've talked a lot about, what your vision was. We've talked about your partners. We've talked about that great support system of the families behind, and we've talked about the kind of people that you're looking for. The last one that we haven't talked about is, what is an ideal client for Trenegy and these three great partners?
Wow, that's a good question, Brent. You always want to say an ideal client's a paying client, but that's stating the obvious.
I like them.
An ideal client is one that is willing to share their what's wrong up front and what's right, what's not working and what is, and have it, and being able to be honest with themselves. A lot of cases, and frankly, the clients that aren't honest with themselves, they don't end up hiring us because they're not really being completely open. When they're willing to say, hey, these are the problems I have. And an ideal client is when we sit down across the table from the sponsor, and the client sponsor, who's the executive, says, hey, here's my weaknesses, and I need your help in helping me become more successful. And then when they open up like that, that's an ideal client. Then we can have some honest conversations one-on-one with our client and with the client executives, and there aren't any hidden agendas when everything's kind of open on the table. So our approach is to come in and say, hey, this is what we see. This is, and we'll a lot of times we'll tell clients what they don't want to hear. And sometimes we don't get hired in those cases, but sometimes they do, and they say, hey, I need somebody who's going to be honest with me and who's going to be forthright. And that's what we're looking for, someone who's willing to have that type of relationship with us.
Absolutely. I think that's really key. A lot of people don't ever talk about it, but consultants they really do need to find the right kind of clients out there that have the integrity, the ethics that they do, because it keeps everything going, especially when you go back home and you have to talk to those great spouses about what you're doing each and every day. So it looks like you guys are doing a great job. This is Bill Aimone from Trenegy, one of the managing partners. They just started their business, how many months ago, Bill?
It's been about 2.5 months now.
2.5 months, and I know that you guys have rung the bell a couple of times. You've been landing some good clients out there. It seems like you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we appreciate Bill being here with us. Again, my name is Brent Longnecker. I'm here for Kevin Price hosting today on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.